Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Legends of Tomorrow, episode 110, titled Progeny, which premiered Thursday, April 7th, 2016 on the CW. Guys, I know I am behind in posting this. Bear with me. I'm trying to get caught up as I can, with as little, if only there's so many more hours in the day. Let's just say that. So, quick reminder, I haven't read any of the comics, so anything I predict or any of my own thoughts about what's happening is based off what I see. So let's get right into it, 10-minute clock, and let's begin. So something new we learned in this episode. So this episode, we're actually traveling to the future, and that is the year 2147, and we're going to the Casnia conglomerate place. And apparently the team's target is a 14-year-old Progeny, because his future has him unleashing a virus that decimates the human race, which is what allowed Vandal Savage to rule the world after he killed Progeny after he caused this havoc. So, the mission being to kill Progeny, however, it gets changed because once the team finds out he's just a 14-year-old kid under bad influence of Vandal Savage being his mentor. Kill order turns into a kidnapping mission. Hopefully, taking him out of space and time stops the events from happening, is what their theory is. So, yeah, I'll go through it. But throughout this mission, we see Ray Palmer being left to believe that he fathered a child back in 2016 because of the fact that a Palmer descendant is running the company in 2147 that is manufacturing all these robots that basically take after the Atom suit. Turns out it's actually Ray's brother Sidney who not only stole the Atom research but is the one who had the child who had all the descendants that led to the doctor that Ray meets in 2147. So that causes a weird struggle for Ray, because for a brief time he thought he had fathered a kid, but then left that kid behind because of this time traveling thing. So dealing with a lot of issues in that what if scenario, which causes him to drift from Kendra for a bit, but I'll get back to that later. We also see, in regards to the mission, Rip trying to kill Progeny himself, but instead he kidnaps him to try to do the deed, only to have some weird conversations that Progeny is not really listening to. So when he's returning the kid to his father, it's when the team is fighting all the Atom robots and all the people working for this, for Progony's father and Vandal Savage. And in that moment when Rip comments with Progeny, it's when Vandal Savage has a knife to Sarah's throat. So he uses the kid to barter a deal with his father to get Sarah released. So it's a trade-off. Although Progony's father wants him back unharmed, Progeny and Vandal Savage are ready to kill everybody instead of saving the kid's life, which is messed up to begin with. Yet it makes sense for the villain to want to just eliminate everybody while you have them vulnerable. So there's that. So outside of the whole mission dealing with Progeny, you get Kendra, who's having memory flashbacks of her and of one of her past lives with Carter. And it's the one where she has their son Aldous, and they're getting ready to run from Vandal Savage again. I think it's between the 50s and 70s, maybe, or even the 30s. Maybe it's the 30s. I don't know. It's a great surprise seeing a reincarnate of Carter back, though. Also, we see that the team's actions regarding Progeny have jump-started his fate, because instead of the unleashing of the virus and the death of his father happening 5 years from that point that they intercepted, it all happens within a matter of days, because days after team leaves 2147, Progeny kills his father, and the virus is unleashed days after that. So they pushed forward, or they had the apocalypse happening a lot sooner than it was supposed to. So there's that. Also, we see with tension between Captain Cold and Heatwave, because Heatwave is now a prisoner on the ship for being Kronos. So these two deal with their issues by fighting it out with their fist. So it turns out that Heatwave beats the hell out of Captain Cold, and he doesn't kill him, although he said he would, because of the fact that they're all dead either way, which leads to Heatwave telling the rest of the team about the time mercenaries that will come for them all, because of the fact that he, as Cronus, failed to bring them all into the Time Masters. So they're kind of living on borrowed time for that matter. So what was the most shocking moment of the episode? Definitely has to be Vandal Savage's influence over Protegaton. I wasn't expecting such a huge influence. I don't know how else to say it. It's just I didn't expect him to be so corrupted because of Vandal Savage's teaching. I thought maybe he came from a crappy father as well, who was kind of like Vandal Savage, so then he had like double that evil influence on him, which is what led him to that being the one to release the virus and all that. But his father seemed to be pretty decent. He seemed like to be a businessman. He cared for his son. Maybe he was just an absent father because he was more into the business and stuff like that, but he was not who I was expecting. So it was really surprising how all this very cold, calculated, quote-unquote evil corruption that Protegaton had was all through Vandal Savage's teachings as he posed as his mentor. So that was surprising for sure. So top 3 favorite moments, let's move on to that. First one has to be all the future technology that we see in 2147. It's very cool to see just how far advanced all that stuff is going to be without actually being the same level as like the Wave Rider and all those stuff from 2166. One of the very cool things though I liked were those glasses that Captain Cold used, where it was like an analytical computer screen on the lenses of the glasses, and it was pretty good to see what kind of things were broken down, or just what the computer lenses were able to pick out or focus on. So I thought that was pretty cool. I hope that we see something like that in my lifetime for sure, because I'd definitely love to get a hold of that, just to be able to see something in my reality and then have a computer be able to help me figure things out in the moment instead of having to log onto my computer, recreate the scene, put in my own notes and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah. Anyways, next favorite moment has to be the moment where Ray, Professor Stein, and Jax see that Palmer bust for the first time, and they're just shocked by the resemblance of it to Ray, which is why they believe that it's Ray Palmer who is the founder of this company that they're trying to get a tour of. In fact, it's actually his brother, Sidney. But their faces and their reaction to just seeing that huge bust was hilarious. So that was pretty funny. And, okay, another favorite moment has to be, for me, Sarah and Captain Cold. I really like the friendship they have going on. I could definitely, probably another lifetime if they had met. Alright, I should say this. If it wasn't for what I already know from Sarah, from Arrow, or what I already know from Captain Cold from The Flash, if I just started watching Legends of Tomorrow as is, I could have definitely shipped Captain Cold and Sarah together in a romantic sense. But because I know their histories already and who they've already been linked to and stuff, I'm completely okay with them being the bro OTP, the friendship OTP, I guess, because I really like it. I really like the fact that Sarah went to talk to Captain Cold about his conflicted issues about Heatwave. I like that how well they work together in the field, especially when they work together to infiltrate Rip into Protegaton's security detail. I really like that they have similar mindsets in regards to things, so like they have a better understanding of each other. I just really like their friendship together, and I really hope we see more of it for sure. They seem to get each other for sure. which something on a ship like that is something they definitely need. Okay, so moving on to top 3 Peach moments. It's kind of a major one, I guess, but it's the fact that they haven't had one mission that hasn't hindered Vandal Savage in the slightest so far. I mean, is it just me, or am I over exaggerating this, or is it actual fact? Because the only mission I can remember where they actually won and there's a timer, and they managed to stop Vandal Savage was when they had killed him. So that seems to be the only way they can cause hindrance, because otherwise every time they encounter him they just seem to not be able to stop him, or they've managed to give him another edge to further his plans along. So it just seems like every time they make a time jump, they just make things worse. Sure, they learn about a lot of things, but then they just seem to make it worse and put things in Vandal Savage's favor, which is kind of not the point of these time trips for them. I'm just saying. So that's kind of a peeve, because I can probably count on one hand just how many times they've actually managed to step away from an encounter with Vandal Savage and claim that as a win for them. Like the first 3 episodes, I think, or the first 2 episodes, they managed to kill Savage, but only temporarily, so at least it bought them some time. So that was one. Another was one in the 80s when they were dealing with the Firestorm recreation project. They managed to kill Vandal Savage in an explosion that also pushed him back a bit of time as well. In the 50s, they didn't kill him at all. They just reconfirmed to him that the future tech that they had, or any future knowledge that they had, was available, setting his sights on bigger things. Their trip to 2046 doesn't count, because that was dealing with Oliver. This episode itself, their interference ended up jump-starting his plans by 5 years, so it didn't really slow him down in that sense. And that's pretty much what I can think of. And then all the times that they got stuck in the time stream, they don't really interact with Vandal Savage that much, so it's not really looking good for them. I'll leave it at that. So what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The fact that we got to see the future 2147. It's definitely a big difference from the 2046 that we saw with the older Oliver. So it's a 100-year difference. It's like, wow. That didn't even occur to me until I did the math right now. So moving on. Random questions. Does anyone else want to see more of Carter, or of his reincarnations of his past lives that he and Kendra shared? I definitely think they're missing an opportunity in regards to Carter. It sucks that they killed off Carter Hall, the character, in episode 2. But because of the fact that he is a reincarnated character, I feel like they could have done a lot more. Like, I feel like they could have kept the actor who played the Carter in all the reincarnations. I feel like they could have still kept him on. They just could have given him a different reincarnated version to play. I mean, they're time traveling, right? Why not time travel to a time where his last reincarnation was alive, or time travel to the future where his next reincarnation was supposed to live out, and bring him onto the team, see if he remembers anything different that Kendra does from her past lives and stuff like that. I really think that was a missed opportunity in itself, and the fact that we got to see Carter again, or whatever his name was, in that flashback, was really good. It was nice to see that, because I definitely feel like, yes, I'm liking the whole Ray and Kendra relation, and the fact that she chose him, but the fact that Carter and Kendra had 4,000 years worth of history, and who knows how many reincarnations, what is it, 200 and something at least? 207 reincarnated versions of each other, at least. They could have brought back any one of them instead of just completely killing off the character in that source of reincarnation, if that makes any sense. But that's like, I want to see more Carter as a reincarnated character. It makes sense to show him in a time travel show. I'm just saying. So let's just quickly move on before I completely go off track. And that's predictions. Sorry. I still have my cough. So sorry. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay. So based off the promo for 111, we see the team going to the Wild West, and we see the appearance of Jonah Hex. Based off the synopsis for the episode, apparently the team needs to hide out, probably from their time mercenaries, so they picked the Wild West. And apparently Jonah Hex helps them out, and he's actually an old friend of Rip's. So, in order to be old friends, that means he must have time traveled to the Wild West before. So anyways, overall predictions in general though, those time mercenaries are definitely going to be closer to finding the team, or they're going to be right on their tail, or something like that. So hopefully we'll actually see a glimpse of what these mercenaries look like, whether they look like Cronus, or the reputation of Cronus, as we saw, since we know it's Heatwave. That would be something. Maybe it's someone, time mercenaries, or someone we already know, or they're descended from somebody we already know. Who knows? Hopefully we'll get a sneak peek of them at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean the characters have come face to face with them yet, but yeah. Also, we need to see some type of progress in regards to taking down Vandal Savage. Like I said before in the peeps, the fact that every time they time jump and encounter Vandal Savage, it seems to do more harm than good in regards to the overall mission of stopping him. So hopefully they find some way to further their progress, or find a more concrete way to kill him once and for all. So hopefully we get something like that. And also, I hope Kendra gets more flashbacks. Hopefully something useful that can tell her how to defeat Vandal Savage, or how to make it permanent. Even more reincarnated versions of Carter and her in different past lives would be fantastic, because like I said before in the random questions, it's a missed opportunity when it comes to the reincarnated character of Carter. So that's about it. What did you guys think of the episode? What you liked about it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. And just because of the quality of my voice, I hope that doesn't sway you, because I swear I do not always sound as if I'm going to cough. I'm still really trying to get rid of it, and maybe that's why I'm delaying these videos, so I can space out the recordings to let my voice heal. But yeah, but thank you for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I am sorry for the delay, but there's only so many hours in the day, and well, being sick can kind of wipe you out too after doing everything you need to do at work and stuff. So moving on though, quickly, right back. If you want more information about Legends of Tomorrow, whether that's promos, sneak peeks, web clips, quotes, GIFs, dialogue quotes, anything like that, check out my Tumblr page. Link for that is down below in the description box. You got one for this episode specifically, and then you got one that leads you to the page that will have all the tags related to Legends of Tomorrow, which is at the bottom of the page, the Flash tags, which are in the middle, and then the Arrow tags, which are at the top of the page. So basically the whole Arrowverse tags are on that one page. So that's the second link, which can be found in the description box. Again, my Tumblr reblogs are delayed as well. I haven't been able to go on it since this whole rush started for me at work. So I'm trying to get back on track with videos, and then I'll go back on Tumblr and do all the quotes and stuff like that. But in the meantime, you can always check it out. If it's something you like, then follow me there. And then when I actually go back and catch up on everything for Tumblr, you'll get the whole, get more updates, I guess you can say. So there's that, and that's about it. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode as we deal with the Wild West. So until then, this is Mel. Wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. And until then, bye for now.